What's up everyone, in this video I'm doing a review of the Nexus 10 tablet co-designed by Samsung and Google. This is the 16GB version which I purchased for $409 Canadian off Google Play. Let's start with the specs before the software. In terms of specs, the dimensions of the tablet is 263.8 by 177.8 by 8.9 millimeters. The tablet itself weighs in at about 603 grams. And as for the screen itself, it's 10.055 inches big. It's a WQXGA screen with a resolution of 2560 by 1600 at approximately 300 ppi, and it's protected by Corning glass. Let me tell you that this is one of the sharpest screens I've ever seen on an Android tablet. Actually, it is the sharpest screen I've ever seen on an Android tablet. In terms of specs, it even rivals the Retina display of the third and fourth iPads. Inside, you're looking at 2GB of RAM. The processor itself is dual-core 1.7 GHz Cortex A15 Exynos 5 processor. The GPU is a Mali T604. Now, even though this is a dual-core device, don't get fooled by it being slow. The Nexus 7 is running a Tegra 3 quad-core processor, and on Quadrant score, the Nexus 7 got about roughly 3,677. This device, however, got 4,639, which is almost 1,000 more than the quad-core processor in the Nexus 7. So even though it's dual-core, it's not about the amount of cores that are in the tablet, it's more about the architecture and design, which Samsung has done a superb job of. So this thing is blistering fast, even though it's dual-core. Of course, you have an NFC chip for Android Beam. The rear camera is at 5 megapixels. It records 1080p at 30 frames per second. The front-facing camera is 1.9 megapixels. The battery itself is 9,000 milliamps lithium polymer battery. And of course you have the usual GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, etc. Now, in terms of the locations of ports and stuff, at the bottom you just have some sort of dock connector, which maybe we'll see what that's for in the future. On the left side, you have a micro USB port for charging, connecting to a computer, etc. A 3.5mm headphone jack. At the top, you have your power button, your volume rocker buttons. Over on the right side, this is awesome. This is the micro HDMI port, so you can actually plug in your tablet to your TV, and whatever's playing here, you can play it to your TV directly. It's a neat feature there, which is missing from the Nexus 7 actually. As for the back, you have the Nexus logo, a very nice rubbery grip. I'm not sure what the point of this is because the speakers are not located here. It's just they changed the padding at the back, at the top. I'm not sure why. You have your rear camera, a flash, and over at the front, obviously you have the screen. You have two speaker grills at the front here, so it's great that the speaker is actually facing the user. And of course you have a front-facing camera and an LED notification light that pulses right at the bottom. The lock screen, let's go back to that, has been updated for Android 4.2. Keep in mind that user profiles and customizable lock screen was not available when I opened and started using the tablet. Even though the tablet said it was running Android 4.2, I tried to force an update out of it, it wouldn't work. After waiting about 10 minutes, it automatically just said, hey, there's an update ready. Then the lock screen and user profiles are accessible. So basically the way it works is that you got your generic widget here, you can add more. I assume when app developers update their API, they can add more widgets, so let's add the calendar, simply tap it, and that's it. You can keep going to the left and adding more. To remove something, you long press, drag to remove, and you're done. You cannot customize the background wallpaper, you cannot add more than one widget per screen, and you cannot resize the widget, unfortunately. If you simply tap on a widget and then unlock, it actually unlocks to the settings of that widget, okay? And of course, let's go back again. You'll notice that here at the bottom there's this new circular icon. If that's to unlock to Google Now, the unlock widget simply unlocks the device only. That's it. User profiles can be accessed from the bottom over here, which I'll get into a little bit more later on. One thing I wanted to do for you guys is actually give you a volume demonstration, which no one ever does, and that really frustrates me, so I don't want that to happen to you guys. These speakers are very, very loud, especially because they're facing the front, so what I'm going to do is play an ordinary clip in which I'm talking in a different YouTube video. The volume is going to be on maximum, so let me show you guys how far the volume range is. I recommend you check out an app called Widget Locker, which I'll put in the description below. That app actually allows you to do all the stuff that's missing, that I just mentioned. So, I'm approximately, I would say, 30 to 35 feet away. I don't know about you guys, but with my own ears, I can still hear it very, very clearly. I don't think this tablet needs an external portable speaker. It's really loud. I can hear it clearly from here. So let's continue on with the review. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you guys is the new keyboard. You got the regular one, so let me type demonstration. Demonstration. This is with one hand. You can see it's fairly slow. This is the new feature. You can simply glide your fingers over it. So demonstration. It's a lot faster typing method. It's not as good as a swipe keyboard, but the fact that you can just simply glide over and not let go of the keyboard except when you're typing a different word, so to make a space rather, it's extremely fast. The new notification pull down has been changed. Basically, if you swipe down on the top left, you get your regular notification drop down menu, or drop down bar rather. If you swipe down on the top right, you get your profile option, you can adjust the brightness, you can access the system settings, Wi-Fi networks that are available, turn auto rotate on and off. Your battery percentage is displayed here, and simply tapping on it gives you the full battery information itself. Airplane mode on and off, Bluetooth on and off. So the new quick settings menu is pretty awesome, a neat addition. As for the camera, let's get into the camera. Keep in mind, I'm not going to be doing a full, sure, why not, whatever. I'm not going to be doing a full demonstration of the camera app in this video. I'd rather demonstrate the camera in a separate video, because in that video I'm going to give samples of pictures and videos recorded with the tablet so you guys can get a full idea as to how good or not it is. But I just wanted to show you the new UI. Simply tapping somewhere will cause it to focus. Obviously it's focusing on my desk, that's why it's blurry. Long pressing anywhere will give you access to the new menus. So let's say I want to change to front facing camera. That's all I have to do is just glide over, and there's the top of my head. So this is a new camera app. Like I said, in the separate video I'll do sample clips and pictures, and I'll also go through the new UI, and I'll give you samples from the front facing camera as well. The gallery app has been updated to allow photo editing straight within the app. So let's take any random picture I have. Simply tapping on this little circular 3-circle icon here will open up a new editing feature built right into the gallery. You can change the color settings, the border, you can change the edges, what else? You can straighten, crop, rotate, and of course you can adjust exposure, auto color, shadow levels, etc. Battery life. As I said, it has a 9,000 milliamps battery, fairly big. I'm just assuming because it has a lot of pixels to keep up with, and you know the display is quite large, it's not the greatest tablet battery out there, despite it being pretty large, especially compared to the Nexus 7, for example. It's what you expect from a tablet. Nothing bad, but nothing great either. It's just decent. Speaking of storage, if you go to your system settings and then hit storage, there's this thing, which hopefully I pronounced properly this time, cached data. I'm usually used to saying cache, it's a bad habit of mine. Anyway, there's a new option here that says cached data. Simply tapping on it and pressing OK will delete all cached data. Before Android 4.2, the only way you could do something like this is to root your device and download a third-party app. This time it's built straight into the Android 4.2 system, which is a great feature. Gmail has a new pinch to zoom feature. So, as you can see, you just pinch and zoom. Okay, it wasn't on by default, so what you have to do is go to your Gmail app, hit settings, then general settings, and checkmark this option that says auto fit to screen. That's the only way you can make it do pinch to zoom. It's not on by default. Profiles. Okay, so it's basically what I have done is I set up 2 profiles. This is my personal account, and I've created a dummy account. When I simply tap on the dummy account, you'll notice that the UI changes. It's quite fast. That's because the processor is quite fast. I assume if you're running a dual core device and you have a lot of apps on your device, the transition speed might be slow. Once the transition is done, it is fast. It's just smooth, like it's running brand new. The apps listings will be kept separate. So say for example, I have Temple Run installed on my main account, but this dummy account doesn't have it. It won't show up in my dummy account. But say for example I do want to install Temple Run on this dummy profile. What will happen is as soon as I press install from Google Play, it won't download the app. It's going to say installed already. Basically what it does is it grabs the app from the original account holder profile if they have the same app, and then just stick it into the new profile as well. So it's basically sharing the app from the hard drive. However, scores on each profile are kept separate. Say you're using your email app, the settings and your emails will be kept separate. No app information collides with one another. Everything is kept separate, and as you can see, even the UI, the wallpaper, your screen brightness setting, everything is separate. It's like having your own tablet, but you're just sharing it with someone else. Very, very awesome feature from Google. They have done an outstanding job with that. One missing feature, which is really disappointing, is called Miracast. If you go over to display, right here you're supposed to see something that says like Wi-Fi display or something like that. What you're supposed to be able to do is stream whatever is being shown on your tablet straight to your TV over a Wi-Fi network. This feature is included on the Nexus 4. I'm still waiting for my Nexus 4 to arrive from UPS, but I can confirm that that is the case. But here, it's just not present. I don't know why Google didn't include it. The same thing happened to my Nexus 7. When I updated to Android 4.2, it's just not there. It's not a hardware issue because that kind of technology is very, very basic. I mean, even my Galaxy S2 LTE can do it with a third-party app. Now, one thing a lot of people want to know is how does this handle games? I will do that also in a separate video, simply because downloading a game, a heavy intensive game, will take a couple of hours, you know, because I have to get a strong Wi-Fi connection, etc. So I'll demonstrate a couple of games in a separate video. Of course, one of the last things we have, if you go to the system settings, display, then you hit Daydream, it's kind of like a screensaver feature, which can be activated when the device is docked, charging, or either. So let's demonstrate the Google Currents Daydream. I assume if Android app developers update their API, they can include theirs in this list. So if I activate Google Currents and hit start now, it'll get a list of all the available articles that are usually present in Google Currents. Simply tapping on one, like say this one, will present this much larger, nicer image and a heading of the article. Hitting open in Google Currents will open the actual Google Currents app, and then of course you get the article itself. Now, final verdict on what I think about this tablet. I'll give this tablet a 4 out of 5. The pros is that it has one of the best screens on the market right now for a mobile device. Whether it be Apple, Android, anything, it has one of the best screens. You can't deny it. And it looks fantastic. Of course, it's also running an unaltered version of Android, so there's no other garbage present in the system. And because it's a Nexus, you're also bound to get the latest version of Android a lot sooner than compared to other devices and brand names. And of course, lastly, making it a Nexus device means that it's very easy to mod, root, etc. The cons, however, is that, say for example in portrait mode, this is portrait mode, right? The up volume button actually makes it go down, and let's see if I can show you guys. The down volume button makes it go up. It actually does the opposite in portrait mode, which I'm not sure why Samsung did that. It's kind of bizarre. The other problem is that for now, there's not enough app compatibility to make great use of the very, very high resolution screen. Hopefully that'll be fixed due to app developers, but it's just a problem for now. The build quality, even though I said the back feels very comfortable, it kind of feels cheaper than, say, the Nexus 7 tablet. The Nexus 7 tablet and the Nexus 10 are very, very comfortable to hold in the hand. However, the Nexus 7 just feels a lot better and stronger at the back. The front actually looks pretty great of the Nexus 10 though. And of course, Miracasting, which I mentioned is the Wi-Fi streaming to your TV, is missing. That should not be a hardware issue, it's simply a software issue, which I assume Google just chose not to do. I don't know why. Because as mentioned, third-party apps can do that job. So like I said, 4 out of 5, still a great score, worth checking out. That's pretty much it. If you found this video useful, check out my website in the description below. Hit the like button, it does help. Subscribe, and thanks for watching.